and go.
You're listening to the Flaherty Solutions podcast. I'm Erin Flaherty.
And I'm Kevin Flaherty.
If you find value in our podcast, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and leave a review. If you leave a review, we will shout out to you or your business or both, whatever you want us to do. We would really appreciate that, and we have fun doing this. So first, we would love to shout out to some of our friends who have given us some shout outs of their own on social media. First, Brandy Biswell, thank you so much for sharing our podcast. You've shared it more than once, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you. That was awesome.
And Jerry Bay, who I've known forever, thank you so much for sharing us with your community on Facebook.
And then Billy Boris is a awesome local in the community of Kent Island here. Thank you for sharing this. And everybody, if you need your car detailed, like no joke, off the lot, like if you bought it brand new, that's what Billy does. And do you know the name of his? I'm drawing a blank.
It's like Stay Clean.
Stay Clean.
I believe it's Stay Clean Detailing on Kent
We'll get
Island.
the links up in Facebook. But if you are looking for the best car detailing at your house, you don't have to take it anywhere. Billy was awesome.
Nice.
So thank you, Billy. And Lindsay White, our good friend, our neighbor. We've known her forever, but thank you so much for sharing this, and that's awesome.
And Lindsay and Corey own cellular sales near the outlets.
So if you need a Verizon phone of some sort, they can hook you up.
Right across from the outlets in Queenstown.
Yep. And all over the state.
All over, but Queenstown locally.
Yep. All right, so big news. We bought a house this week. Yep. We just went and we did it like that. We are not moving. This is an investment property. This is a rental. So today we want to talk to you about kind of our thought process on buying a rental, because 10 days ago we were not buying rentals. We were just sticking with the stock market, and we want to walk you through like how quickly we moved and all the steps you should know. Like, we know so many people that want to be landlords. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They want to be real estate investors.
They want to be real estate investors.
Whether they flip or they...
And we never wanted to be real estate investors. However, running the numbers and just what we fell into, we've become real estate investors. So we want to walk you through all those steps, and then...
And we get feedback on some of our episodes that when we talk about finances, we get a lot of positive feedback. So we feel like we'll kind of dive deeper into processes like these.
Yeah, and that's what you look for. Like Dean Graziosi, that podcast I told you to listen to or recommend it, he is big on like share your knowledge. If he wants to get into a new venture, he finds a person that's an expert in that and he picks their brain for that information. So we're just trying to help you if you want to get into this type of finance, if you want freedom, because that's one of the things we're going to talk to you about today is getting us closer to like 100% freedom. I'd say we could be pretty close, but we're not there.
Well, it kind of leads into why we made this decision, because we're stock market heavy right now. So your passion, we've talked about this a couple times, your passion as an advisor has always been the stock market. When you were 16, reading under the blanket, it wasn't dirty magazines, it was stock market stuff.
It was.
So
it was both.
It was both.
Let's be honest, it was both.
Yeah. Nice. I was thinking of I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have pulled that
I mean,
so,
who doesn't know?
Right.
That 16-year-old boy.
But you were still looking at the stock market.
Yes.
And it's always been a passion of yours. So naturally, when we started to have extra cash, we invested in the stock market. So we are stock market heavy right now in our investments. First cash, first stock market, then we've always been a little nervous when we talked about buying properties, we never felt comfortable. But then, do you want to talk about Cecil?
So we bought a foreclosure as our first house because honestly, that's all we could afford, and that was 9 years ago.
Yep.
I think we had 20,000 in our checking account, maybe.
I don't even know. I just know we had enough to do the deal.
Yeah, we had enough. We were like barely able. It was nervous getting the deal done 9 years ago. But it was the best deal we ever made because we were no longer renting.
It was either rent across the Bay Bridge in a more expensive area or use our cash as a down payment and be able, we didn't make very much money, so we qualified for a USDA loan at the time. So you have to have lower income to qualify for USDA. So it was,
and we were there.
It was a no-brainer to do that. So we bought that.
And it needed repairs, but my dad gave us really good advice. He said, move into a house, do not do a single thing to it for at least a year. And I always thought that was good advice. Move in, don't go spending all your money, every paycheck on repairing. I mean, if it's falling apart, yes, get that fixed, but don't blow all your money. And we didn't. And we did projects, piecemealed it over the years, and we were in that home for 6.5 years. And it ended up, our incomes grew while we were in that house, and our expenses stayed ridiculously
And people gave
low.
us a lot of trouble once our income started to grow. They're like, why are you staying in that tiny house?
Yeah.
And you gave me some trouble.
I did.
I'm not trying to give you crap, but
and I'm being honest about it. I wanted to move.
But a lot of people are like, okay, you guys are doing okay. When are you going to move out of that tiny house?
Yeah.
And it was like, we kind of like watching our money grow.
Yeah. And so, because instead of spending, our mortgage was $1,300 over there.
It was 12.
It was 12 at the time. Taxes, thanks government. Our mortgage has gone up, but we'll talk about that later. But as our income grew, I was like, no, we're taking this extra money, and we're not putting it towards a new mortgage. We're putting it towards investments. Facebook, Apple, Google. We bought all the tech companies, banks, and we just kept. We talked about it. That was episode like 3 or 4. We'll post a link to it. Yada yada yada. Anyway, so we moved out and we kept that house because we could afford moving to this house and keeping that as a rental and getting a renter in there. Now our renter currently pays
almost $1,800.
Almost $1,800, and so we're making close to $500, not quite, a month in positive cash flow. We had them in there for just over.
It's almost 2 years.
It's almost 2 years. Now that bank account for that account has grown to where we feel comfortable if a dishwasher goes, a refrigerator goes, an HVAC
Anything big.
Anything big goes, we can tap into that account.
We've just been letting the profit just sit there in its own bank account and grow. So now it's like $6,000.
Yeah.
Like sitting there.
And now we're applying the additional money towards the principal of that rental. So now it's going to pay down by the same calculations of 7 years early. So it'll be paid off in like 12 years from now.
Right.
Excuse me. So then we had a really good year in the stock market last year. Everybody did. So it was very nice. And that built our confidence up. When at the beginning of 2019, we weren't buying anything because the market was down and your confidence is down.
Mm-hmm. We were also only a year in this house and only a year. So we were also like, our renter situation's going really well. If we buy something, it's going to be awful.
Yeah, and we, mainly me, I didn't want a headache. And I still don't. But if something's worth doing, it's normally not easy. There's more, if something's worth doing, you got to work for it. So we got over that psychological hurdle, like, oh, what if we get crappy tenants? That could happen. Okay. And we're just going to have to deal with it and then get them out and maybe sell the place or find new renters. Mm-hmm. But we've done all our homework for years on rentals. So now it's turned into a personal development for me. Our stock account, that's an account we'll probably never ever touch unless something huge happens and we need to tap into it. But for me, I can't take money out of that account.
Right.
It's like this mystical bank account that I'm not allowed to touch. I love to watch it grow. It's painful when it goes down. I'm a professional in the business. But it's a fact of life
when it's going to go down. It just is what it is. When you're
But even as a professional, it's still very painful when your money goes down.
No one likes it.
But what we've realized is we love working and we will always have some type of income. And what got me thinking is a lot of my clients that have rentals, they're making in retirement $10,000 in rental income. That's money I feel comfortable with living off of. Because let's be honest, $10,000, your primary house is paid off, your rentals are probably paid off.
So let's talk through that. So these people who are making $10,000, they probably started off maybe making nothing per month because
20 years ago.
The rent, or maybe even losing, with some rentals, they're duds, they're losing money some months.
Lose money.
But But when I'm not on purpose. Because
just circumstances.
Okay. You're losing money. You're not always cashing out on rentals. When you have more, I just think odds are you're not going to be cashing out every single month on every single rental.
Yes.
Always.
Correct.
So they weren't always making money in the months that they were renting the house, but then over time, the mortgage, those renters are paying off the mortgage for you. Then the mortgage it's free and clear. All you have to pay is your taxes and insurance. Yeah, you pay insurance.
Taxes and insurance.
And then the rent check is just gravy. So that's what their income becomes later in life, right? I just wanted to spell that out.
Yeah. So, and you can make it so like we have cash flow now. You can make it so you have cash flow now, but we don't need it. Our lifestyle is not changing. We still are going to live super frugal because that's just who we are. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to teach Parker and Hannah, we're keeping them along for this journey. Well, obviously we're keeping them along.
Should we take a quick break?
No. We'll just keep rolling with it.
Okay.
We're showing them and trying to teach them all these steps throughout the process because, that's what it's about. It's about passing on legacy for them to be able to fish for themselves, right? The antidote.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody does the thing.
I don't know. You might want to say it.
Okay. So obviously if you give someone a fish, they won't be hungry for the day, but if you teach them how to fish, they won't be hungry for the rest of their life. And that's what we're trying to show them. All right, Parker, that's great information. Parker's always in our YouTube videos on comparison cooking, and so she's really used to us rolling and continuing to go. But we're just gonna keep moving on. Sorry for the interruption.
It's all good. It's life, right?
So I think what we want to wrap up and say about this topic and about buying properties is...
It's on the charger, Parker.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Pete.
Parker, it's on the charger. You're going to have to bring the charger with you, though.
Yeah, take the charger to the family room.
And we'll be done here in a minute.
Yeah.
You
might want to take the charger. For those listening in, Parker is our youngest. She's a ball of energy.
Our diva.
And it is Martin
Luther
King Day. What'd you say, Parker?
I have all the makeup.
She has all the makeup she wanted you to know.
Yeah, she's our...
And she does.
And I have my nails done.
You want to show?
Show them your nails.
Gel manicure?
Oh, that's so pretty.
Just
professionally
like
done. All right, Parker. Thank you for bearing with us. Parker, that is. And audience.
Yeah.
All right. So now the idea for us is to get to retirement and have rental incomes. And that's kind of where we looked at it and we said, are we going to be kicking ourselves buying these properties 5 years from now and they're so much more expensive?
Well, and the market's high, and it's scary when it's scary when it's low, and it's also scary when it's high, because when that is the majority of what you have invested, that's why you hear the term diversify, right? Diversify your investments so that you're not just putting all your eggs in one basket. If something does tank, all of a sudden you watch this thing go up and then it comes down. So
take profits when you need to and reallocate those profits to other areas. And for us right now, that is buying houses. So we're looking to buy houses so we can use the house we went to earlier yesterday, remember?
Oh yeah.
We bought it.
So, well, what's interesting, so we told our realtor that we were looking for investments that we want to buy 2 this year. And she sent us something that had been on the market for less than a day, maybe less than 24 hours, and sent us a video of it. So we had crazy work schedules this week. And so we weren't able to go see it right that day. And she sent us a video and said, this isn't gonna last. And she was right, because it had our offer and another offer within 24 hours. And we didn't even go to see the property in person before we put an offer, because the video, thank goodness for technology.
Oh my goodness.
It really, and our realtor wouldn't steer us wrong.
Yeah.
So, we were able to make an offer. We're sitting at lunch together.
Yep.
And decided.
And we're talking about our crazy schedule, but we fit in lunch. It's important too.
Right. Well, and Angie, my coworker and friend, was like, "Wow, Erin, you're busy," and she listed off all the stuff I got going on. And I said, "Oh, and Kevin and I are buying properties too." And she said, "Just to simplify things."
But that's how we like to roll.
It is.
We don't want to think about something for too long.
It felt right. We know
Yeah.
what. Also, we thought about it. It didn't just feel right. It wasn't just.
We looked at another house and we made an offer on that one. So we were ready to pull the trigger. And
on the right situation.
On the right situation.
Yeah, we did make an offer the week before, and it just wasn't, the deal wasn't.
We're still negotiating that one.
Well, right, exactly.
Hopefully she doesn't listen to this.
She can.
The opposing realtor.
She can.
But anyway.
Who can?
You can.
So the point is, why we're telling you all this, why we do our other Growing Wealth series on this podcast is, that's the type of freedom I'm wanting, that I love in my life, is we're sitting at lunch, we're eating amazing Thai food in downtown Annapolis, and our realtor shoots us a video, and we're like, all right, we're texting her back, buy this property.
Buy this house. And there was another offer already, and we won, which is a little bit more favorable conditions, and we're closing on it.
And that's why you save your money for buying into other investments. This is exactly what you want to do.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
It's not just like, we can't have the fun stuff because we're buying houses. It's exciting.
Yeah.
To be planning for our future and diversifying our investments.
Yes, absolutely. And 3 months from now, we could be back on here saying like, this is not going well.
Exactly. We are not experts. We are not Team Graziosi. And next week we are going to talk about failure. I know we have one more short topic to talk about today, but we are going to talk about failure and how everyone falls on their butts. Everybody has seasons in their lives. We talk about what works well for us, but we're certainly not, nobody's a life expert.
No.
So we're going to talk about that. Failure is, as Tom Bilyeu says, failure is the most information-rich data stream.
Yes.
If you use it right. So we are going to talk about failure next week.
Oh, that's really good.
That's really pretty. But you wanted to talk about...
Just real quick, we talked about, jokingly, Kevin being Zen 2020. And
is Kevin still Zen?
Kevin's still Zen. I'm a little more energetic, though, I'd
okay.
say. But I'm still, Zen in my, thinking, and I just want to share kindness. I gave a speech one time to 10th grade over at one of the schools, and the message I would end it with is, it's free. It is free to be kind. It is free to put a smile on your face. And I'd say last year I was just more go, 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 and kind of push everybody to the side. I don't have time. If you're not, we're not moving things forward, you're not important. And I was just that didn't make me happier. And that's what we all want in life, is happiness, right? That's what we're searching for. That's really, at the end of the day, we want freedom and happiness. So the other day we were dropping Hannah off at racquetball, and the lady at the door was like, hey, whoa, sign in. And I'm not a member, Hannah plays. And last year I would have probably said something snooty and come on, Karen, back off, Karen. You're
poor people who are named Karen this year, right?
I know. I think that started middle of last year.
I know.
It's not
but
ending.
I feel bad.
Sorry, Karen. Not
or
sorry.
Brenda.
But anyway, I just took a step back and I was like, what do you need? And she's like, it's our business. Can you sign this liability waiver just for being in here? You just have to sign this sheet. And I was like, oh, absolutely. And you could tell was on guard, because she's always getting barked at for having to stop people for doing her job. But if I owned that business, God forbid somebody slipped and fell and then turned around and sued me.
And you didn't have that form.
And didn't have that form. So I was just, don't be a jerk and just be kind.
Sign the stupid form.
Sign this form. Be nice about it. Smile.
Why did you call it a stupid form?
Because we could have thought it was stupid.
We could have, potentially.
It was actually stupid.
Life lessons from Parker.
Life lessons from Parker. That should be its own segment. All right, people, I think we're wrapping it up. We would love for you to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff.
We will shout out to you.
Give a big thumbs up too.
See,
You want to come say goodbye?
Button.
Come here. You want to come say goodbye?
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching, listening. We'll see you next week.
On our failed
Love
episode.
my dad. And it's from my mom and dad.